Hi, so in this session we are going to start with multiple inheritance. So whatever we had discussed so far was single inheritance. So single inheritance was simply you have a base class or a parent class and you have a child class or derived class and you inherit all properties from base class into this derived class. Okay, this is the concept of single inheritance. What multiple inheritance is, you can have multiple base classes, base class 1, base class 2, base class 3, etc, etc. You can have base class multiple. Let's say I have two base classes. I am inheriting properties, so my child class is inheriting properties of base class 1 as well as base class 2. So I am inheriting all the properties and the methods of base class 1, and I am inheriting all the properties and methods of base class 2 as well. So the child class have both properties and methods of base class 1 and base class 2. This is actually what multiple inheritance is. There can be multiple use cases or multiple examples. Let's say you have mother and you have father, so child inherit properties from both mother and father, so that is a concept of multiple inheritance. Similarly, we have discussed about car. So there is a car and there is a private and commercial cars. So finally, let's say Honda, it's a car as well as it is a private car. Okay, so it inherit properties of car as well as the property of private. Similarly, there can be multiple things like a car as well as commercial. So there can be commercial cars as well. So final car is a car as well as it is a commercial vehicle. Okay, according to that we have multiple use cases. So these are the various examples of multiple inheritance. In code, how can we do that? Let's quickly explore that. So we have multiple inheritance. Let's say I am taking example of mother and father. So I have a class mother. It by default inherits from object. Okay, now let's say I have a print function in this, like this, something like this. So I'm just printing that self of mother called, sorry, print of mother called, and let's say I have a father as well, and let's say I have def print self, something like this. I am printing print of father called, let's say like this. So I can inherit properties of a child. Let's say I have a child, I write like father and mother. I can have various init functionality. Let's say I will initialize with some name self comma name. So I will initialize like self dot name will be equal to name. Let's say this. Okay. So let's say C is equal to child. I'm passing any name, that is, let's say Rohan, and I'm doing this. Now the point is, what will happen if I call print? Okay, if I call print, let's have first functionality. Let's print child. Okay, I'm printing just name. So name of child is self dot name. Something like this I am doing. I'm just calling C dot print child here. Okay, let's say this. I'm doing that. So need to pass self here, and this is name of child is Rohan. This is simple. You have inherited all the properties of father and mother. Now the important point is what you will do, that if you call print, you inherit all properties and methods. So this is a child which has print of father as well as mother. So it will have print of father as well as print of mother. So what will happen? Whose print will be called? So if I call this C dot print, so answer is print of father called. Why it is? Because of the order in which you have written this. If you had written like mother and then father, then there will be a different thing. Let's say this. If you do this, now if you will do C dot print, then this will be print of mother called. So it will depend on the order in which you do, and this is how it is done. Okay, so print function, so the method which will be called is depends on the order in which you have inherited. Okay, if you have inherited first from mother, then the print of mother will be called. If you inherited first from father, then print of father will be called. So this is how multiple inheritance goes. That's why there is not a lot of confusion. But there can be a lot of confusion. There will be multiple inheritance from various base classes. Then you have structure like print in various classes. Then you want in specific order. There can be a lot of confusion. We will discuss about method resolution order in the next session. But the concept is, this is how multiple inheritance is done. Let's explore def underscore underscore init in this. Okay, we have this. Let's say I have an init function in this as well. Like a print was there, I have an init function is this in this as well. Self comma, let's say name is here. Okay, so here I am doing like simply that self dot name will be Ajay. Okay, here I am doing that I have an init function. If whatever mother will come, its name will be self dot name equal to something like this. Okay, I am doing here, I don't have init function from here. I have like this. In this I will call init of some class. I will call, let's say, super dot underscore underscore init underscore underscore. I'm printing after that self dot name. So name is present in mother as well as father. So what will be printed here? That is an important thing. Let's say I call print child here. Okay, print child here. And if I try to run this now, so print child, c is equal to child Rohan. So I am not passing this. Let's say this. I am doing this. Now if I am doing this, so name of child is Manju. So now my name will be of Manju. Why? Because this super does what? Goes to the base class. So this is base class 1, BC1. This is BC2. This is my derived class. So I am doing that init function super.init. So to super.init will depend on the order again. So who's super? Who is in the order first? So mother super will be there. Self.name will be Manju. After that, if you call print child, then your self.name will be of Manju. Okay, this init will not be called, but instead this init will be called. So this is how the concept of multiple inheritance works. If you have a same this in both the fields, so it will depend whose order is coming first. This is how multiple inheritance works. So we will discuss about method resolution order in the next session, so that you have better clarity that how these method resolution order works. Okay, great. Thank you.